Hey, Tom here with Xtreme Air Vents. I put together this video to show the proper installation of the Xtreme Air Vents on a Gen 4. This will work for all snowmobiles. Most of the vents have the same exact procedure for installation. So we're going to go over today just two vents that we're going to put on my sled here to help demonstrate the proper method and the way I do it. So it's easier for you when you get your vents shipped to you. You can take them out of the package. You already have an idea of what to do. The installation instructions in the package that it comes with are very thorough, but also it helps to see it visually. So I'm going to go over that today and kind of give you a couple of the little shortcuts I can take that will make the installation go quicker and easier. So let's get started. It's a really good day to work in the shop today. Not going to be a whole lot of riding going on. We're looking at like 40-mile-an-hour winds. Snow's blowing, snow drifts. Yeah, brutal. So nice to have the heated shop to work in today. Okay, so as you can see, my sled already has quite a few vents on there. Today, we're going to go ahead and install this new vent, the small back top vent, and then also an exhaust side shock tower vent. It's going to go right here. So I'll show you the way that I do that. I've already loosened the bolts on the shock. The best way to do this is to remove the shock. It opens this whole area up a lot easier to get the drill in and to cut. So we're going to go ahead and get things ready for that. I'm sure many of you have already seen the video that Duncan Lee made of the installation of the Gen 4 intake vents. It's a well put together video. I recommend that you watch it. The only thing is I'd like to add a couple of things. I'll put the link to his video down in the bottom, but also I'll just add a couple of things that I do to these vents. It's in the installation instructions. I'm sure Duncan did it after, but he just didn't put it in the video. So I'm going to show you what I do before I go ride. Okay, so once the vents are installed, I go and take some black RTV and I seal around the edges all the way around. That's going to make a positive seal that no water can get through. I get asked lots of times if I cut out the factory pre-filter before I install these, and I do. This material is the factory pre-filter material, so you don't need both. I cut it out. Most of the time they're torn when you order these, so it's not that big of a deal. The biggest thing is the plastic piece has to be solid. It doesn't matter if the material is torn from the factory intake, but the plastic has to be solid. You need these vents to be able to rivet onto the factory plastic. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with this vent here. So what I do is I go ahead and set the vent on the panel and line it up so it's even on all sides. Okay, so it's even all the way around the sides. Then what I do is I take a pencil, sharp pencil, and I poke it through and I mark all the rivet holes. Okay, so once you've got all the rivet holes marked, this essentially makes your template. So I'll come in and zoom in on that and you can see where these are marked. So let me show you that right now. Okay, so as you can see, those pencil marks, that basically is going to make up your template. So as a shortcut, these templates come with your kit. So you can set this on there and you can trace the inside. I've already cut these out, so you can just trace the inside area and that's your basic cutout. But I like to verify that these holes are not going to overlap or be within my cut area. So checking it with the template's good. So now what I'll do, I'll set this camera back up and I'll show you how I trace it out. Okay, so now that I have the holes marked, all I do is I just come in about 3/8 of an inch, ½ inch, and I go from hole to hole on the inside. I just make a rough mark, hand draw mark in there. That's going to be my cutout area. Now I could verify it with the template, and you'll see I'm pretty close. I was a little bit more conservative with what I had traced. But that gives you a basic idea. So I trace it out with the template there. Now you know, you can come in and cut it out. Another question I get asked a lot is what to cut it out with. There's lots of different options out there. Honestly, you can drill holes in each corner like this, cut it with a razor blade between corner to corner. You can use a jigsaw. Obviously, if you're using these tools, you're gonna want the sled or the panel off of the sled on the ground or on a workbench. But the most useful tool I've found, doesn't matter the brand, is one of these oscillating cutters with a rounded PVC blade. These things are awesome. It smokes through this plastic super easy, and it's very safe. So realistically, you don't have to worry about plunging in too deep and accidentally cutting something behind it. In this case, there's really nothing in the way on this side of the panel. I typically recommend just taking the panel right off the sled to do all this, but for ease of videoing, I'm just leaving it on the snowmobile right now. So go ahead and get that cutted. This thing will cut really quick, clean. I'll show you how that works. As you can see, that was really fast. So next step is we'll pop that out, clean up the edges with the razor blade. Okay, the only downfall to that little oscillating cutter is it's a rounded blade, so you kind of got to make sure these corners are connected. That's about it. So you can just come in here with the razor blade, make sure the corners are all connected, pop it out. Okay, so now all you have to do is come in with your razor blade and just clean up these edges. Just taking these little plastic burrs off. Really, you can kind of just scrape them off with a fingernail or your finger, but get it looking nice and clean. Okay, that's all it takes. Get ready to install the vent now. Okay, the next thing you're gonna need is a 3/16 drill bit, the vent, and the rivets that come in your kit. So what I like to do, and you really wanna make sure that you're paying attention to what's behind this. I recommend taking the panel off normally, so you don't drill through and accidentally punch into something behind it. But for the video purposes, I'm going to leave it on there because it's a lot easier to video up here. So what I like to do is I like to center that vent again, check your holes, line everything up, and then the first thing you're going to want to do is drill one of the holes. Okay? Just put one of the rivet holes in there. And take one of the rivets that came in your kit and just put it in there to hold it. One of the things I've found is if you try to drill them all at once, these vents tend to slide around a little bit and then the holes don't line up when you go back to rivet them. So I just put one in there, then I go and drill the next one. Okay, we're going to put in another rivet. So everything's lining up, that's getting held in there good. Just keep going. Okay, now we're ready to start pulling rivets. Now we made it to this point, what we're gonna do is you're gonna grab your rivet gun. I like to use a pneumatic one. It's a lot quicker. You don't need a pneumatic one. You can use a hand riveter. It's not that big of a deal. So at this point, you can just start pulling the rivets. You're gonna use these little backup washers included in the kit. So what you'll do is you'll reach around the back and you'll put the backup washer on the back of the rivet. I'll do one and I'll show you what it looks like on the back. Okay, so this is how the backup washer looks on the back. So you're just gonna take one of your backup washers and you're gonna place it on the rivet. Okay, it's good to hold that up against the rivet or up against the panel while you're pulling it. So I'll go ahead and do the rest of these real quick and then we'll move on to the shock tower. Okay, so I've got the backup washer on there. I push it up against the panel. Of course the compressor goes off now. Sorry about the noisy compressor. Let's keep going. Backup washer on the back, pull the rivet. Okay, that vent installation is complete. It's nice and tight on there. Looking at it from the back side, it's going to be a good vent for my new muffler. Okay, so our shock tower install is going to go exactly the same as that other. We're going to set it up here, line it up. Want it straight along this line right here, straight across the line on the top. We're going to mark those rivet holes with a pencil. And you can see I've already got the shock removed on this one. So you'll need to do that before you start this install. Get those all marked. And then I'll want to touch them up a little bit so I can see where they're at. And then we'll do the outline. Okay, so I've got my rivet holes marked. You can see the little marks that I have with the pencil. I'll draw my outline now. We'll check it with the template. We'll cut it out. I don't know if you can see the lines I've drawn there, but we'll go ahead and check it with the template that's included in the kit. And again, it looks like that time I was right on. I got a little bit more I could cut out right here, but for this, it'll be all right. So we'll go ahead and cut it with the oscillating cutter again. And again, you just want to double check that there's nothing behind it. In this case, camera doesn't want to focus in there, but down in here, there's nothing in there. The factory has some foam in here that you're going to want to pull out because that'll just gum up your bit when you try to cut through. But normally, you will need to take this stock muffler out to get access into here. But with this special muffler I have, there's room down there. Special muffler. Okay, so we'll touch up these corners again with the razor blade. Okay, we got that all cleaned up. Ready to put the drill the holes for the rivets. You can see, got nice clean edges. Ready to start drilling the holes. So we'll just continue on with the install process. Forgot my drill. Okay, 3/16 drill bit. Get this thing lined up straight along this line, straight across the top. You can see through there and see the little pencil mark that we made earlier. Okay, we'll just put a rivet in there to hold it. We'll do to the next one. That looks lined up straight. Now if you're doing this on the clutch side, got to make sure you put something back here so that you don't drill through the oil reservoir. So you can take even the piece of plastic that you cut out, you can shove it back there, just so you don't plunge that drill in too far and puncture the oil reservoir. That would be really expensive and kind of mess up your day. So, exhaust side, not too critical. There's nothing really back there to get in the way. So we'll just keep going down the line here. When you get into this area, sometimes you gotta kind of monkey with the drill, raise and lower the suspension a little bit. Looks like I can get it just by turning the drill sideways. We'll have to, there we go. Okay, all the holes are drilled. Get all the rivets placed in there. We'll start pulling the rivets. Don't forget your backup washers on the back side. So I just put one on there. Hold it with my hand and then pull the rivet. Okay, there's no special time lapse or anything on that. That's real time. That's only how long it takes to install that vent. So a little preparation and using the proper tools, super easy install. Here's what it looks like from the inside. It's going to let a lot of nice airflow through here across this funky looking muffler. All right, thanks for watching. As you can see, installing the Xtreme Air Vents is really easy. Following the procedures that I've shown you here doesn't take much time at all. So I appreciate you ordering the vents from me. If you have any questions, you can always email me at xtremeairvents@gmail.com or check me out on the website, www.xtremeairvents.com.